These notes are on the area and circumference of circles. So just a reminder, in the previous notes where we talked about radius and diameter, we use the letters R for radius and D for diameter, just a common notation. Area of circle is a measure of the region inside the figure. And the formula for that is area equals pi r squared. And we'll be looking at that formula in more detail later in the module. Perimeter of circles. Perimeter is a measure of the length around a figure. For circles, perimeter has a special name. We don't say perimeter of circle, we actually say circumference of a circle. And that formula, there are two of them, 2 pi r or pi d. And the reason for this is that a diameter is made up of 2 radii. 2 radii lengths make a diameter. So let's look at 2 examples. Our first example, we have a circle with a radius that is given, 10 centimeters. So I'm first going to find the area. I start by writing my formula, pi r squared. I then substitute r, 10 for r. I then simplify. I get 100 pi centimeters squared. Now this is an exact answer, which is why I use an equal sign. Pi represents a number that goes on, that has a decimal, and after the decimal goes on forever and ever. But by leaving it as the symbol pi, it means that I have it as an exact value. I can also represent this number using an approximation. And to do that, I either need to approximate pi as 3.14 and multiply it by 100, or use my calculator and actually use the button on the calculator for pi. And so that's what I did. I used my calculator and I found that 100 pi is approximately 314.16 centimeters squared. Just to note, order of operations, we do exponents and then multiplication, which is why we square the radius and then multiply it by pi. Just a quick note there. So circumference. Circumference, I have 2 options here. I can use the 2 pi r formula or the pi d. In this case, since they give me the radius, that's what they've given me, I'm going to use this formula. 2 pi r, 2 pi, substitute 10 for r, equals 20 pi centimeters. And again, I can also find an approximation by plugging into my calculator 20 pi. And when I do that, I get that 20 pi is approximately 62.83 centimeters. Remember, area is the region. And so it's a 2-dimensional figure that I'm finding. That's the 2-dimension. Circumference is just the outside. So if you can imagine making a cut in my circle right here, and then laying it flat, this length here is the circumference, and it is a length. So it's a 1-dimensional object. Second example. In the second example, I still have 10 centimeters, but in this case, we've been given the diameter. So remember that for our formula for area, pi r squared, I need to find r. And so I need to remind myself that the diameter is 2 radii. So if I have the diameter of 10, that means that my radius is 5. So pi 5 squared, 25 pi centimeters squared, and then my approximate answer. And again, it just may depend upon what your teacher has asked or what it is that you're trying to find, whether or not you would use an approximate answer or the exact answer. So the approximate answer is 78.54 centimeters squared. Then I need to find circumference. In this case, because I'm given the diameter, I'm going to use the formula circumference equals pi d. So I substitute 10 in for pi, and I get that the circumference is 10 pi centimeters. And again, if I need to find the approximate, I'll plug into my calculator 10 pi, and that's going to give me approximately 31.42 centimeters.